So yesterday we started a new topic, the topic of Siman Daled, page 15. So we'll just get a running start on this again. Yirchas Yadav Vivarach on Netilas Yadayim. When we wake up in the morning, we wash our hands and we say the bracha al Netilas Yadayim. And we discussed the machlokas between the Rosh and the Rashba yesterday. Why is it that Chazal were misaken that we should do such a thing? So the Rosh says because your hands go all over the place, so therefore, I don't know if there is such a word, they're unbrachaable. There's such a word. But, so therefore you have to wash. And the Rashba says, because like you're a new bria, you're a new thing, you're a new creation. And just like the Kohanim, before they served Hashem, had to wash, so to us, we're about to, again, I didn't spend that much time on it yesterday, but again, when you think about it, that Rashba is saying, like, you have to approach your world, your day, you have to approach your day like you're serving in the Beis HaMikdash. Every day is like being in the Beis HaMikdash. It's like, what things you have to do, and so you have to prepare for that. Okay, so, and you make the bracha on the Netilas Yadayim, and we talked about whether you have to dry your hands, or, well, you should dry your hands, but whether you can make the bracha before drying or not drying. I don't want to spend that much time on this because we'll see later how we actually do it l'maisa. So I don't want to spend too much time on that. And the Ramah, I don't think we did the Ramah yesterday. V'yesh omrim. The Ramah says, so you make the bracha on the Netilas Yadayim, and some say, Gam Asher Yatzar, that you make not only the bracha on the Netilas Yadayim, but you also make a bracha Asher Yatzar, V'afilu La'asat Tzarachav. Oh, next page 16. And even if you didn't go to the bathroom, or you don't need to go to the bathroom, you still make an Asher Yatzar. Again, that the idea is the same idea we mentioned before, thanking Hashem, everything's working, right? So when you wake up in the morning, you have to be grateful. I remember hearing a shmuz from Rabbi Chaitzek of the bracha Asher Nasan Lasach Vivin Alav Kimino Vilayla Mirz Hashem. We'll get to that. Yeah, it's a clarion shmuz that he said that the machlokes, some say Sechvi is a rooster. But I don't hear a rooster. I don't know what you hear, right? Pretty noisy outside. If you sleep in a sukkah, it's pretty noisy at night. But I don't think there's any roosters. I don't know. But so Rabbi Chaitzek explained that roosters are very stupid. You don't understand how stupid animals are. You just don't. That's one of the things movies have stolen from us. But they could differentiate between day and night. And person in the morning when you wake up, you have to realize, boy, the hard drive is still there. Now we can appreciate that. Now that you went to sleep and then you wake up with the same cognitive ability is mamish unbelievable. And I tell people very often, Mirz Hashem, again, I don't want to spend that much time on it because we'll get to it in Mirz Hashem, the bracha Asher Nasan Lasach V'Yimina. But I tell people, I know a case. Woman was under a lot of stress and one day she just, nothing. Middle of the day. Baruch Hashem, it all came back. But it was like scary there for a while for the family. So again, we have to thank Hashem it's amazing. Makes it easier to come to davening. You have that awareness, yeah, I want to go to shul. I have so much to be grateful for. Now, there's a very important Mishnah Berurah Gimel, where the Mishnah Berurah brings up from the Prima Gun the famous question. We have this at least once a year for some people, and that is what happens if you were up all night. Meaning, again, if you're according to the Rashba, so if you're awake all night, so then you're not a Bria Chadasha. You've been going nonstop. So therefore, you can't make the bracha Asher Yatzar unless you went to the bathroom. So again, as everyone knows, this is the Shua Shaila, and the Chavetz Chaim says v'tzarach iyun ladina. So therefore it's a shaila. So as you know, the answer is that try to go to the bathroom, right? Try to go to the bathroom in the morning. And then you have to make an Asher Yatzar anyways. Not because you slept, because you didn't sleep, but because of the fact that you went to the bathroom. So that's usually, not usually, that's what we tell people to do on Shavuos morning, right, before we daven to use the facilities. So therefore, you avoid this question altogether. And then again, you can make an Shiyatza, you can make it on the Tisadayim. Now, but then the Mishnah Berurah says, also in Gimel, V'yarei Shamayim yachmir alatzmo, a Yarei Shamayim should be machmir on himself. V'yitol yadav, and he should wash his hands, right? Nagel Wasser. V'yilbash milchnasayim o yakor shar davar amasig ben libo le'erva v'yavarach hashayatzar. That you shouldn't make the hashayatzar right away, right? According to the Mechaber, if you put everything together and summarize it, you wake up in the morning, I guess you say Modani, and then you sit up and you wash your hands, make an al bracha al netilas yadayim, and an asher yatzar, even though you didn't go to the bathroom. Unless you need to go to the bathroom, then you shouldn't make it. But let's say, so you make them simultaneous. So, but still, you're wearing your nightshirt or whatever, with the head thing with the pom pom. So therefore, the Mishnah Berurah, it's very interesting language. It says you should be machmir, and this is Yarei Shamayim, and get dressed. So there's something dividing, separating the top part of your body from your bottom part of the body, which Mirza Hashem hopefully much later we'll get to. There's a halacha of proper way to make a bracha or a daven. So again, and then he brings up other issues, but again, so according to that, you will not be making the al netilas yadayim and the asher yatzar right away, because it's sort of like you have to get dressed. So we'll see later. Again, we'll see later that really most people don't, and we'll see from the Mishnah Berurah that you don't make the asher yatzar and al netilas yadayim right away. You want to get up, you might have to go to the bathroom, so you can't make a bracha anyways. So you wash, go to the bathroom, then wash again. Then maybe get dressed, and then you make an asher yatzar al netilas yadayim. We'll see, and all kind of neshama. But we'll see that a little later. Yeah.
Back to sleep, and then you wake up after an hour or so later. You have to say asher yatzar again.
The best thing to do would be go to the bathroom again. Yeah. Or wait. Yeah. Okay, back upstairs. Mayim hapsul, back in the Mechaber. Mayim hapsulim netilas yadayim l'suda. Let's say if you have water which you would not be able to use to wash for bread, right? For bread, so then so you can use it for this netilas yadayim. Now the Mishnah Berurah explains that what kind of water are we talking about? So water which its color changed, right? Maybe there's algae in it, right? We can remember wells. No, the mikveh is clean. In the old days when they didn't have bleach and chlorine and all that type of stuff, right? So the water would get, that's the technical term. It would. It might have germs in it also, but it can have algae in it. So it could maybe not look clear, right? Change color, so to speak. Or if a malacha was done with them, right? They were used for something. You're very green. You recycle the water that you use to wash your dishes or something like that, right? Or whatever. Or they're salty, or they're smelly, to the extent that a dog would not consume this water. So for tefillah, or for this type of what we're talking about now, that would be okay. And Mishnah Berurah says a very interesting idea. The kan lo tzarich rak mishum nikiyus ba'alma, because here we're talking about like a cleanliness type of thing. So water is water. So. But for on the Tzilas Yadayim for bread, there's more restrictions on what type of water. Again, if it would be one of these types of waters that change color, the malacha was done with it, it's too salty or whatever, so then you couldn't use that for bread washing. But for this you could. And some say that if you have such gunky water, you can wash with it, but you should not make a bracha on the Tzilas Yadayim. But the Mishnah Berurah comes out, according to the Achronim, that you could make a bracha on the Tzilas Yadayim. So again, hopefully you don't have this. We don't have this problem again, but that's something we have to be grateful for. That you turn on the faucet and water comes out and it's clean water. It's just an amazing bracha. Okay, base. Let's go to the next page, page 17. Yedaktek la'aros aleya mayim shlosh pamim. You have to be careful that you should pour on your hands 3 times. You have to pour water 3 times. Now, we'll talk about that. We'll get to that. Now, the Mishnah Berurah says something very interesting in Mishnah Berurah Ches. Here we're talking about ruach ra. In other words, we were talking about this. We briefly touched upon it yesterday. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Also, I don't know, today or next week. No, today. And that is, as I mentioned before, when a person sleeps, there's a ruach ra. Some people say, "Oh, Rabbi, like really, come on." So the answer to that is very simple, and that is the person's being foolish. And I think if any time we should appreciate it's a ruach ra, it should be now. In other words, what I mean by that is we see what havoc unseen microbes cause. Even though you don't see it, it's definitely there and could do unbelievable damage. So why isn't that true in the spiritual realm too? It's true in the physical realm, so why isn't it true in the spiritual realm? So if you believe... Now it's interesting, most people believe in a soul, so why can't you believe your soul could be damaged? Or, there's forces out there that we just don't know. And I'm not talking about UFOs. I'm talking about, So therefore, to get rid of that ruach ra, so you have to do a certain procedure. Right? This is true with everything. Now, there's an interesting Mishnah Berurah. The Mishnah Berurah says that we have the reasons we mentioned before, right? The Rosh and the Rashba. Hands are all over the place, or we're like a new Bria. So the Mishnah Berurah explains that really ruach ra is a real thing, but because of ruach ra itself, let's say if ruach ra, we didn't have the Rosh or the Rashba's reason, but we just had the ruach ra reason, Chazal would tell you to wash, but it wouldn't say you have to make a bracha on the Tzilas Yadayim for that. The other reasons of the Rosh and the Rashba necessitate a bracha. Okay? So I want to make that very clear. So in other words, again, we still have the reasons of the Rosh and the Rashba that we talked about yesterday. But now we're adding another layer of ruach ra. But a ruach ra is a reason, but it's not a compelling enough reason to require, or that Chazal would have been masaken, a bracha. Now that we have ruach ra plus the Rosh or the Rashba's reasoning, so now we have to make a bracha on the Tzilas Yadayim. Now, the Mishnah Berurah in Tess says, maybe we'll look at that Mishnah Berurah. La'aros aleim v'yito lechachila ad perak azra. Preferably, a person should wash 3 times on each hand till the wrist. V'yimein lo mayim, but if you didn't have water, now again, we turn on a faucet. But in the old days, right, you had to get a givoni to get the water for you. And if you didn't have one, you had to go get it yourself. That was a hassle. So water was a premium. So then daya ad kishrei esposa. It'd be enough to wash your hands until the big knuckles, right? Not the knuckles in the middle of the finger, but the big knuckles. Now, again, this is going to come up soon. Hopefully it'll come Latova, and that is on Tisha B'Av and Yom Kippur, when we have restrictions on washing, so we do wash only till the big knuckles. We don't go to the wrist. So Mirza Hashem, Sunday morning, you remember that you only go to the knuckles, the big knuckles. But, and then at the end of Mishnah Berurah Tes, if you look at the end, right near the little shards, the end, Yudalid, the Chofetz Chaim says something interesting. Gam tov lahadiach piv. It's best to wash out your mouth after you wash your hands. But in a communal fast, in Tan Sibur, you should not wash out your mouth. We're scared you're going to swallow the water. So, but again, it's an interesting idea that you should wash out your mouth. You should wash out your mouth. It's interesting because they call it halitosis. Morning's breath, right? Your mouth is, right? To also, again, use a technical term once we're on a roll of technical terms. So again, at least now we have toothbrushes. I just saw recently, I think they developed toothbrushes in the 1930s. Until then, like for 100 years, they used boar's heads or hair or something. Yeah. So, but before that, they didn't have. They said they used twigs and things like that. So, right? We have to clean out our mouth. You go talk to Hashem. So again, sort of like the idea we mentioned yesterday about washing your face, right? You have to be presentable. Now, just very quickly, we only have a couple more minutes. Look at the next Mishnah Berurah, Shlosh Pa'amim, Mishnah Berurah Yud. V'afilu shochak harbe b'pam akas eino mo'el. Even if you use a lot of water, one big splash and another big splash, that doesn't help. Quantity doesn't help. Ki ein ruach ra cholech ela b'shlosh pa'amim. The ruach ra doesn't go away unless there's 3 splashes on each hand. Dahainu, pam akas al yad yamin. First you splash once on your right hand, and then you do your left hand, 3 times bisrugim. Surugim means alternating. So right, it's not like for bread. Bread is 1 splash or 2 splashes on the same hand, then the next hand. Here you're alternating, right, left, right, left, right, left. And we'll see according to the Gaon later, 4 times right, left. Okay. Now, the Mishnah Berurah also says quickly 2 other things. Women have to wash just as much as men. Very important because they touch food. And also children, we might have to talk about this next time we're together. Children should also watch. We'll talk about it Mirza Hashem next time. When do we get children to start washing? And he says, but if you have a goy, you don't have to worry about them whether they wash or not. So again, this is very nogea for us because many kosher eateries, food establishments, again, as I say in school, it's not Laser and Shmelka who are preparing the food, right? It's Juan and Jose, right? So then, why don't you have a problem of making sure that they have to wash? Nagelbas, because they're especially touching food, is a very big issue. Answer is, the Mishnah Berurah says it's not a problem. And we don't have to require them to wash. Goy doesn't have this problem. Okay, b'li neder, after Shabbos and Mitzvah Shema, we'll talk about children, and we'll go weiter in Nagelbasser.